guys don't think it's the other way around. Really, not that big of a deal. Like Coach said, I did fight. I was on season 3 of Ultimate Fighter. Made it to the semifinals. Lost, unfortunate, but I did get to fight in the finale card. Fought 4 times in UFC. Since then, I've gone some other places. Now I've got a 6-week-old at home and run the HardCore gym day to day. And I've got some of the top fighters in the world that have come out of my gym. Guys like Forrest Griffin, Brian Bowles, Todd Duffy. Got some of the top local amateurs and professionals in the state. We are considered to be the #1 gym in Georgia, one of the top gyms in the country. And like I said, I've had guys who fought all over the country and all over the world. I fought on 4 continents, and that never would have happened without mixed martial arts. But just to give a little background about me, because honestly, I'm probably the least athletic dude in the room. I was a kicker. I apologize if I offended anybody. But I did a little receiving in high school. Didn't play a lot of football. Wrestled 4 years in high school. Mediocre high school wrestler. Basically middle-class kid, probably not unlike a lot of you. And somewhat of an athlete, but not too much. And came here at the University of Georgia back in 1996, right after the Olympics, and graduated with an engineering degree. While my brother and I, Adam, who's the head coach of the gym, co-owns the gym with me, we started a club sport, just doing some martial arts. Back then we were doing some crazy stuff. We were fighting in elevators, fighting in the parking garages, just some silliness. We had fun. We started getting involved in mixed martial arts. And while we got involved in mixed martial arts, we just trained and worked hard and trained and found people to just better ourselves, and it kind of blossomed into the HardCore gym. I was going to school and training, made my amateur debut in 1999, and then again sort of made my amateur debut a second time. Don't really kind of count that one, bad memories. Kind of made it again in 2001. So I was working full-time, I was training full-time, I was trying to run this startup gym and have guys like Forrest Griffin, who you know is world champion, come through and try and get him going places. And just through working hard, honestly, because I'm not that special, working hard, I was able to get myself into the Ultimate Fighter. And by doing well on that show, I was able to get myself into the UFC. Had an opportunity to fight on pay-per-view a couple times. And like I said, I fought in Ireland against Jason McDonald, live on a pay-per-view card. Fought Oconee, fought Josh Haynes. They just showed that fight 2 days ago on Spike TV again. And just, you know, that's what I do these days. It's because of all that. But at the same time, none of that happens. You guys aren't here, and I'm not where I am because you're half-assed. You're here working hard. You guys went undefeated. By the way, that's awesome. Is that 12-0 season here? 10-0. So you got a couple more games. Got 4 games to go until you make it to the dome. You all know that you didn't get here because you phoned it in. You worked hard. I've been in a locker room with a guy who was 7-0, and in the other locker room was a guy who was 36-1. Had not lost in 5 years, and in 15 fights he was undefeated. My guy was 7-0, just came onto the scene, Brian Bowles. 3 fights before he made it to WC, 4 fights in a row. I think all but one was an of-the-night fight, so submissions of the night, knockouts of the night, just crushing people. But he was still only 7-0. This dude's from Athens, Georgia, worked at Texas Company for a while. Had been training a couple of years. None of us thought he was an underdog. Trust me. We knew he was going to beat Miguel Torres. You got a team sitting somewhere else, I don't even know if they're here yet, but they are not in that room thinking they're the underdog. Yeah, they're ranked 4th. They're not even ranked in the state in their division. You guys are ranked 5th. Pretty impressive. They're not even ranked. They're 4th. But they're over there thinking, you guys are thinking you're just going to blow through them. They're not over there thinking that. They're over there thinking, we came here to prove that we are the #1 team. We are here, and in 4 more games, we're going to the dome, and you're step 1. So my first bit of advice for you is, don't sit in this room thinking, you're 1, they're 4, you're ranked 5th, they're not ranked at all, and this is a cakewalk. The underdog is the dog that's going to fight their butts off to prove that they belong in the fight. You guys don't go out there and the minute that whistle sounds and you don't put your foot down on the gas and you don't press that action for 48 minutes and play your hearts out for 48 minutes, then you're going to give them a chance to come and take it from you. Who are my seniors in the room? Seniors, hands up. Let me see. Got a good group, you guys. This can either be your first of 5 games and a championship in the Georgia Dome, or this could be the last time some of you ever played football. maybe some of you guys are going to play ball in college. I don't really know that. But if you ain't playing ball in college and you don't go out there and put it to them, you're done. Do you want this to be the last game you ever play, the last time you ever step on a football field? Except maybe to go watch the dogs play and you get to jump over the hedges. Hey man, I made it off the Eugene football team. I jumped over the hedges. That can happen today. Because trust me, they're over there and they're ready to prove that they belong here. 4-1 underdog, 7-0. In 4 minutes, knocked out a dude who was pound for pound one of the top fighters in the world, but hadn't lost in 5 years and 15 fights. So see, we weren't sitting in the locker room going, man, Brian Bowles can pull this off. He's worked so hard and I like him a lot. We sat in that room going, man, he worked hard, he prepared, he did everything that was necessary to win that fight. You guys have worked hard, you've prepared, and you've done everything necessary to win this football game. So you have to take all that and you have to bring it onto the field in just really a few more hours. Because they're over there trying to get ready to take from you. I have worked my butt off, made it to the highest levels as a mediocre athlete, in my opinion. I fought in UFC, fought all over the world, got a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, got one of the best gyms in the country, which is really only 15 miles away from here, in Athens, Georgia. Because I loved what I did, and I wanted to be the best at it. I imagine that you're all in this room because you love playing football, and you want to be the best at it. Now, for some of you, it doesn't matter how much you love it and how good you got. It ends either today or it ends in five games in a couple weeks. It's going to end regardless. But you can just get a little further and a little further. It ends with you guys winning that championship in the dome. It's not a bad way to retire. You don't get to go play ball in college, but not a lot of people get to say they were state champs. Right? How many state champions has this school won? How many state championships has this school won? How many? 0. You guys went 10-0, and you guys have never won a state championship. Why can't this be that class that sets that new standard for North Oconee High School? Is that a possibility? Yes or no? Did you guys come today to eat your dinner, to walk out on that field and let a team that's not even ranked come here and beat you in your own house? Yes or no? Yes or no? Do you want this to be, for my seniors, and I want to hear you, do you want this to be the last time you ever play football? Yes or no?
No, sir.
Yes or no?
No, sir.
So you get out there, the whistle blows, minute 0, you got 48 minutes of just foot on the throttle and just breaking them. Because everyone's got a breaking point. Everyone. For Brian Bowles, when he hit Miguel Torres in about the first minute and a half and sat him down, got on top of him for a little bit, Miguel Torres came back up, was not the same fighter. About another 2.5 minutes later, hit him with a punch hard enough to put him on the ground, finished him off on the ground, hit him so hard he broke his hand. Unconscious. The biggest upset, considered by many to be one of the biggest upsets in mixed martial arts history. They're over there wanting to be that big upset in Division 2A, Region 5, 8. That's what they're over there. That's what they're over there doing. They're over there going, man, we might be able to win. They're over there going, we're going to come out there and win, kick some butt. And they're just looking to take it from you. If you want it more, you win. They're over there, if they want it more, they win. You're over here, you worked hard, you prepared, and you want it more, you win. Go out there and just press it. Break them. And they'll fold. Everyone's got one. Everyone's got one. Get on that front line, offense, defense, you're staring at someone's eyes after you've ran them over and over, and your running backs are just going through, and eventually you just see that look of defeat in someone's eyes. It's either going to be you looking at them with that, and they're looking like that, or they're looking at you. It's either the first game of 5, or it's the last game some of you will ever play, and it's going to be that 10-0 season. Oh, you just got away. I remember when. I was at North Oconee High School and we went 10-0. Played in the playoffs. Lost. Fourth ranked team that wasn't even ranked in the state. It's a pretty crappy story. To be that team that went 10-0, and then went 11-0, and then went 12-0. 13-0? Georgia Dome. Can you imagine what it would be like to run out onto the field in the Georgia Dome? I've been on the field at the University of Georgia. Got a friend of mine who was a coach over there for a little while. Got to get on the field, got to watch some of the games, the red versus black. Awesome. G-Day games, awesome. I wasn't even playing, I just got to be on the field. I'm not even like a super fanatic about UGA. I do have a shirt. Come buy them online. HardCoreGym.com. I got to pay for a little bit, come on. But could you imagine what it would be like to walk onto the field at the Georgia Dome? Who here has thought about what it would be like to walk onto the field at the Georgia Dome? Put your hands up if you have thought about what it would be like to walk out on the field at Georgia Dome. I want to be seriously. Have you thought about it? Why isn't everyone's freaking hand in this room raised right now? What the heck are you doing here right now, at this very moment, if you were not thinking about what it would be like to walk on the field at the Georgia Dome in 5 weeks? Is it 1 week, every game 1 week? In 5 weeks. How is that? How do I not see two hands up on everybody? How are you not like a little bit excited by that thought? If you would ask me what it was like, I was going to fight UFC and I was going to be on a live pay-per-view card, I was going to Ireland, and I was going to be live, my friends were going to see me on TV, what that was like, and I thought, hell yeah, I thought about that. I mean, I ran into the cage and I jumped on the ground like the hit. I just had no idea what to do with myself. I was so amped because I had thought about that. Man, I'm going to fight in UFC. I got to the point where that's what my goal was. It wasn't my goal in the beginning, but it was I got there, it's like all I had to think about, I'm going to get on a live pay-per-view card, I'm going to fight. Everyone's going to see it. I'm paying $49.95 to watch me fight someone. If you are not in this room right now with the thought in your brain that you are going to be walking onto the field, then how are you going to put the effort for it? How can you make that dream or that goal happen if you can't even envision it in your head? You can't see yourself winning this game, winning the next 3 games, and walking out onto that field. How can that happen? You haven't even seen it yet. You haven't grasped it in your own brains. You got to get through 4 games to get there, but you have to have as an end goal that you're gonna play in the Dome. And if you can't see that, if you haven't thought about it, then you're destined for failure. Because if we don't even see the end result, then you can't see the way to get there, right? Beginning of the season, I bet you all thought about having that undefeated season and winning every game. You didn't start off game 1 and go, man, I hope we lose this one, but win the next 9. Win the first 2, but let's lose 3 and win the next 6. Started off going, man, let's win, and let's get to the playoffs. But at some point, there's got to be, man, we're doing this. Holy, we're pretty freaking good. We're 8-0. We'll be 9-0 soon. We're in the playoffs. But your thought process can't stop at the playoffs because there's still a lot of work to be done. Still got 5 more weeks to get to the Dome. But you got to see that, because otherwise you win this game and you're like, man, we're just going to coast. There's no coasting now. Guys trying to get to the Super Bowl, right? I mean, high school Super Bowl, state championship, the Georgia Dome. Teams that played Super Bowls in Georgia. That's what you're trying to get. You got to see that. You should be thinking about it. You should be dreaming about it. You should be writing it down in your diaries. I don't care. But there's got to be an understanding of what you're here trying to accomplish. This is Week 0, you were 0-0. You're looking to go 4-0 against another team that's looking to go 1-0 today so that they can go 4-0 and get to the Dome. Who's going to be thinking about that while you're out there, while you're hurt and you're bleeding, and this dude in front of you maybe he's getting over on you, and if you just, man, I don't got it anymore. You're thinking, no, I'm going to plow through this guy. I'm going to the state championship. should be amped. I'm amped just thinking about the fact that you're going to state championship. It's the first time I've ever stepped into this room. I don't know any of you. But the fact that I had an opportunity to come here and talk to you guys, kind of share a little bit about me and what I've accomplished and the rooms that I've been in with dudes who have accomplished amazing things because they had one singular goal: be the best. Brian Bowles was sick of himself when he had when he lost his fight to Dominic Cruz. He had his belt and he lost his belt, and it angered him. So he couldn't continue because he broke his hand. He's now trained 10, 12 weeks, getting ready for Uriah Faber. He's going to fight on the 19th, San Jose, live on pay-per-view. He beats Uriah Faber, he's going to fight again for the title. He's not looking past Uriah Faber because Uriah Faber's no slouch. Dude's a stud. He's a stud. But there's no doubt in my mind, there's no doubt in his mind that he's going to win that fight because he wants it so badly, because he wants that shot at Dominic again. You got to want it badly. Because if you just want it, you're going to play like, I just can't catch it. Every time you screw up, you're taking a step backwards. And that's why you're here, then that's fine. Tell your coaches, let them sit your ass on a bench and don't play. Think your coaches want a guy who's going to go out there and go, I just can't beat you. See? Heck no. They want dudes who are hungry. They want dudes who want to win. Who in this room wants to win? Who in this room wants to step foot on the Georgia Dome field? That starts today or it ends today. Your destiny is your own. Other teams over there, maybe someone's talking to them. They're not as cool. So but someone's over there amping them up to come in here and beat the top dog. You guys are the top dog. You guys are undefeated. You guys are number one. You guys are number one because you busted your asses all season to be here. Number one, undefeated. Got 5 more games, 4 more games, and you were there. You put it down tonight, 48 minutes later, you got 3 more games, and you're there. Every play that you play, every action that you take tonight should be for that singular goal to kick butt and get into the dome and win a state championship. Because then as seniors, if it's the last game you play, you can say, I was on the very first state championship team that North Oconee High School ever had. And then when the next group comes up, when these freshmen, sophomores, and juniors come up and say, I was a part of that team, let's just do it again. Because if you can see it happen, and you saw it happen, you were part of something, then you know it can happen again. You got to know that you're in this room and that you can make that happen. You haven't seen anybody else do it yet, but you guys went 10-0 and you're ranked number 1, all of what you've done this year. You can make it happen. It starts tonight. Think about that. You're eating. Put your brain, put your mind on task and on point to go out there and play the hardest 48 minutes of football you guys can possibly imagine. Broken, beaten, bruised, like Forrest Griffin. You guys ever see Forrest Griffin fight? Might not always be the prettiest thing in the world, but there is no, I need to protect myself type of mentality in Forrest. It is, I'm going to live or die in the cage. And he won a world championship not being that athletic, not always being the best skilled, but being the toughest dog in the fight. Now you guys have the skill, you have the record, you have the ability, but you have the ability to be the toughest dog in the fight today. You have the ability to go head to head when it hurts, when you're down a little bit and you got to come back and you see it getting pulled away to go grab it and get it back. Do you guys have that ability? You guys have the ability to go on that field for 48 minutes, kick butt, and press action, and never stop. Do you guys have that ability?
Yes, sir.
Again, in 4 more weeks, you guys make it to the dome. But again, it starts here. I really appreciate you guys having me in. I will be honest, I've never really gave a talk like this before. And when I got the call from your coach, it's like, I know what you've done, I know what your gym is, I know the guys you train, and I was like, you know what? Heck yeah. This is one of the, I'll be honest, this is one of the coolest things I've ever done. I've done some pretty cool stuff in my life. I've gone to South Africa and I played with baby lions. I played with a baby hyena. Not so much though, they roll around in their own poop, so you don't want to play with them as much. I've seen lions eating a zebra off in a safari. I've done some pretty cool things. I've been to Japan, I've been to Ireland, been all over the United States. I've traveled far and wide for mixed martial arts. I'm with fighters, I've been on TV. They show my fight on Spike all the time. I don't get paid for it. It's one of the coolest things I've ever done, honestly. Because I was at one point in high school. I didn't play football for 4 years. I only played football really 2. It wasn't my thing. I wrestled for 4 years though. My high school football team wasn't all that great, so no one ever needed to come in and talk about playoff game 1 and get into the championship. Just like first time I had an opportunity to do something like this. So to me, it's one of the coolest things I've done. But everything I said today here is true. I've been a part of it. I've been a part of other people accomplishing it. I didn't win a world title myself, and that's fine, but I have helped 2 people win world titles. I've got some of the top fighters in the Southeast, while one day being in the UFC. I've been a part of watching them work their butts off to accomplish their goals, and that's to be a UFC champion. Your goal today is to be state champions. Equally as important. You put the hard work in, but it doesn't end today. So my lasting thing for you is think about what it's like, what it's going to be like, not what it's like, what it's going to be like. There's no ifs, there's only whens. You never talk about if Brian Bowles wins or if Boris wins when he was training with me. If I win my fight, it's only when I win. Always talk about the whens, not the ifs. So think about what it's going to be like when you walk out on that field and those cameras are on you and I'm watching on Channel 8. So I'm like, hurry up, I'm talking to those guys. They can watch these guys play some football. Maybe something I said got to them and maybe that's why they're here. I can at least lie to myself. But think about what it's going to be like when you walk out onto the field. The culmination of 4 years of football. Culmination of a season of undefeated football where you worked hard and you gave it. The finals. I would have got to be a part of that, even if it was just maybe 15 minutes. So to me, that's awesome. Again, I appreciate you guys having me in here. I wish you all the best of luck tonight. Not that I believe in luck, I believe in hard work, I believe in effort. You guys have done that already. So just go out there and like they say in UGA, and like they say in my gym, finish the drill. Right? It's the same as fighting, it's the same as football. Finish the drill. Train hard, fight easy. Right? You guys are there, you guys are ready. Eat some dinner. Think about what the goal is. State championship. Step 1, crush the first team. Step 2, crush the second team, and so on. Thank you guys, I appreciate y'all. Kick some butt tonight.
You too.